what you think you're going to do is outsmart us. Because you've been in prison long enough, you think you're smarter than the police. That's your problem. That's your problem. Yes, it is. I already talked to enough people. I know enough about you. You think you're smarter than everybody else.
Okay, so
hold on.
Cool. If I admit to all this and tell you the honest truth, God truth, would she be walking out of this fucking jail?
Not here. So she drove you to this robbery. You remember this one? You had a shirt over your head. This was the first robbery.
All right. Well, did she say I did all this?
You think it's the thrills for him?
I don't know.
So distance yourself. I can't save him. I can save you still.
He told me to kill me and stuff.
This is 24-year-old Yuri Harris and his wife, 30-year-old Samantha Grantham, a couple from Tallahassee, Florida, with a criminal record that tells its own story. They landed behind bars on September 4th, 2020, facing charges for multiple burglaries in convenience stores and gas stations throughout Tallahassee from June 2020 to September 2020, coupled with a homicide in the Oxbow region. The interrogation was certainly not a cakewalk for the detectives, who had to peel away layers of complexity. Here's a man who forced his wife into being his partner in crime, now desperately seeking her freedom. The obvious question here is, what prompted this change post-arrest? Is it a tale of pure love and sacrifice, or are there more intricate motives? Let's delve into the details. On August 27, 2020, a North Tallahassee home became the scene of a harrowing incident. During an attempted robbery, the situation escalated when 25-year-old Parth Patel, one of the family members inside, bravely confronted the intruder at the front door. Tragically, the confrontation took a deadly turn. Patel was shot 3 times with a .22 caliber handgun, as later found by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement at the crime scene. This unfortunate incident left the 25-year-old victim dead. Investigators delved into this shocking event, and after a week of analyzing different evidence, including DNA matches and CCTV footage, Yuri Harris and his wife were taken into custody in Independence, Missouri, where the couple had been staying in a motel. The evidence in the form of DNA and CCTV footage linked them to a series of burglaries that were reported in various locations of Tallahassee, Florida, from June 2020 onwards. Now, as the couple sit for their interrogation, some significant observations are made based on the relationship the couple shared and what prompted them to choose this path of crime and violence. Let's go through them one by one.
I would like to talk about my wife first off. Am I okay to speak?
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to tell us,
yeah, okay. Well, I'm trying to understand why my wife is in custody. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Okay.
Because she's in custody, and I have people I talk to on the phone on a regular day basis, and they're saying that she is getting charged with charges, and I'm trying to figure out why is she getting charged with anything.
Okay. So what you're saying is you think you saying she ain't got nothing to do with nothing?
She has nothing to do with anything. Anytime she was with me, honestly, I was giving her Klonopin. That's anxiety medication.
What? Okay.
That's what she's on. I steadily giving that to her, and I'm on it too. And honestly, there's few times
real quick. When you say you give it to her, what do you mean?
What do you mean? I make her take it.
Okay. She prescribed that?
Nah, she's not prescribed, but that's what I gave her.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
And anytime she don't want to do it, or anytime she with me or anything, honestly, I keep a gun to her head. You know what I mean? Making her do things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like, and it irritates me. It irks me that she's in custody and she's completely innocent.
Yeah. Okay.
That's mine. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So why don't we do this? That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about what it is that's on your mind, and then we can go back and find out that way we can find out more about what's going on, and we'll be able to determine if she's been involved in something, okay? Because right now that's all you're saying. She wasn't involved, she wasn't involved, she wasn't involved. Well, tell us what's going on, talk to us about the story, and then we can make a better decision about that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, what I'm trying to understand is, why is she in custody?
Well, we're going to figure that out as soon as we figure out the rest of what you have to say here.
Well, I'm trying to tell you what I have to say.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure out. I understand. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. Do you have any idea why you in custody?
Honestly, no.
I'm going to cut straight to the chase. This is why I'm here to talk to you. Drop $1,000 damn miles to come here and talk to you.
I understand.
To give you the opportunity to tell me what happened. And furthermore, I'm just going to put it out there. You saying you don't know what's going on, you don't know why you're in custody.
we got evidence to tell that you do know what's going on. And it's up to you to tell us, from your perspective, what happened.
Why did you leave Tallahassee?
To go see my parents.
Where are your parents?
They in North Carolina.
In the interrogation room, Yuri Harris isn't playing by the usual script. Instead of letting the detectives dive into his charges, he quickly shifts the spotlight to his wife, acting all worried about her. It's like he knows there's some serious evidence stacked against him. But here's what stands out. Yuri claims that he forced his wife into crime using drugs and threats with a gun. Now, why is he admitting information which is self-incriminating? There are two possible explanations. Either Yuri is not aware of the amount of evidence that the police already have on him and he hopes he can get his wife out so she can get rid of this evidence. Or he doesn't care about the charges against him and just wants to save his wife. The real reasons behind Yuri's suspicious move is immediately addressed by the detective as he starts asking direct questions with more details.
Okay, and we probably know things before we even got here, right?
Okay.
Okay. So, we have things like, we have DNA, we have video, we have license plate readers, we have all kinds of little things that help us to figure out things, okay? So we can talk all about going on vacation, we can talk all about going to visit family, okay? Or we can talk about other stuff, and I'm trying to give you the opportunity right here, okay, to tell us what's on your mind, what happened. I didn't come 1,000 miles all the way from Florida up here just to find out why your wife's in handcuffs, all right?
Okay, well,
We'll get to that point, okay, but we're trying to figure out, there was things going on in Tallahassee, and you suddenly left, okay? So let's talk about that. Tell me what's going on. What happened?
I mean, I want my lawyer.
All right, Mr. Yuri. Time now 16:07.
It's quite common with individuals who have served prison time before to be aware of the techniques that detectives use to make suspects confess. Yuri earlier had served 6 years in prison for minor charges like theft and small burglaries. He's aware of the circumstances, thus he tries to play smart and explains that he was on vacation and was traveling from Tallahassee, Florida to Independence, Missouri with his wife. It's like he's trying to keep his cards close until he figures out what the detectives already know. The detective observes and identifies the tactics Yuri is using, and thus he quickly mentions the DNA and the evidence that is stacked against him. This is where Yuri begins to get nervous, as he didn't quite expect the detectives to know such details, and he ends up asking for a lawyer.
Yuri?
Yes, sir.
Hi. My name is Kenny Pinker. I'm with the Tallahassee Police Department, Robbery Homicide Unit. This is Eric Scarborough.
Nice to meet you.
Sure. I've had a bit of a conversation this week with somebody I guess you don't care for him too much anymore, but your adopted dad, Richard.
Yeah.
What's the relationship y'all have? Is there one?
We ain't got one.
Ain't got one. Is it, we just got through interviewing Samantha.
Yeah, what you talking about?
I can't tell you that. Only thing I can tell you is she's bawling her eyes out. She's upset, and she didn't understand what all she was into. But she does now. Okay. We were wanting to ask you some questions, but our questions have it's not directed at the murder. You understand? We're here on the robberies around Tallahassee. It was about 5. Sound familiar? Okay.
That's what y'all here for?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what that has to do with my wife?
Well, she's being charged with those robberies because she drove you to them. Okay? We know it from ring, those little ring cameras and stuff that are on people's houses. And we know it from, what license plate readers are? That puts her card at all 5 of those robberies. So, but before I ask you any more questions about all that, I got to read you your rights. Okay? Now, again, this is not about the homicide. This is about robberies. Before you answer any questions or make any statements, you must fully understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say cannot be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have them present with you while being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Basically, it's saying you can either speak to us or not. And if you do decide to speak to us, you can stop at any time. Does that make sense? Having these rights in mind, you wish to talk to us at this time.
Yeah.
Reference the robberies that we were just talking about. This is directed at that question. The robberies. This isn't about the homicide. Okay. Have you previously asked any other law enforcement officers to allow you to speak to an attorney about this incident or incidents?
Have I asked anybody to speak about this incident? No.
And you understood each of those rights, and having those rights in mind, you wish to speak to us.
Yeah, I would like to speak to you.
Okay. Well, I want you to look at, make sure you have the right to remain silent. What's written here is, do you understand your rights? You said yes. You have not asked to speak to an attorney related to these robberies, and this is yes, that you. I know my handwriting looks like a doctor's, but that's yes, okay? And just signing there doesn't admit guilt. Right here, it just says that you that we read this to you understand it.
Yeah. Can I ask you something?
Now, hang on just a second. My God. I'm absent-minded. If I don't write this down, I'll forget it. Oh, go ahead.
Like my wife, she ain't had nothing to do with none of that. You know what I mean? Even like whatever you guys say that she was with me or why not, whatnot. You know what I mean? Like how come she's getting charged with anything?
Well, the problem is when it comes to armed robbery. Okay, if I drive you to the scene,
okay,
I let you out, you walk up to the scene, you pull a gun out and rob somebody, you come back, and I drive you away. I'm just as guilty of that armed robbery as you are.
okay.
Now, and to I guess maybe explain it the best, in the state of Florida, you walk into the Circle K, that's Capitol Circle and Crawfordville Highway. You rob that store, you got a gun in your hand, and you shoot somebody. And I drove you to that store. You run back and we drive off. You're charged with murder, and I'm charged with murder. Makes sense? You understand?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, it's called felony murder because the robbery led to the death, which had you not been committing the robbery, the death wouldn't occur at the Circle K.
Okay.
Okay, that's reason she's been charged. And we can put her car at these scenes.
Okay, well, is it recorded and everything? We're good?
Yeah.
All right, well, what I have to say is, I swear a statement, whatever, when you guys see her in the car and everything, when she's with me, it's because I'm feeding her, giving her Klonopin. It's medication for anxiety. I'm dosing her and literally putting a gun to her head, for her, when I'm with her. And that's God honest truth. I feel bad for that, for what I did. I truly am sorry for that. If I can, I would like to speak to her in person, apologize to her, bottom of my heart, because I do feel guilty now, because I wasn't in the right state of mind either. I was taking drugs, but when she's with me, I literally have a gun. I have a 380. I'm putting it to the head, making her do this while she's intoxicated.
Did she know you didn't have bullets for that gun? Did she know you didn't have bullets for the gun?
I don't know what she did. Nah.
Shortly after this interrogation, Tallahassee law enforcement paid Yuri a visit for questioning the same day. From the very beginning, Yuri maintains a closed and defensive posture. However, he continues to cooperate with the detectives. The detectives swiftly confront him, outlining the compelling physical evidence that is stacked against him regarding the armed robberies. Despite Yuri's efforts to emphasize his wife's innocence, the first detective quickly explains the state law, highlighting how Samantha's role as the getaway driver classified her as an accomplice in the crimes they committed. Yuri, seeking to assert control, attempts to convince them further by referencing the specific drug, a tactical move to authenticate his version of events amidst the escalating tension of the interrogation. This can be a strategy from Yuri's end to deflect the severe charges against him by focusing more on the supposed innocence of his wife. Let's take a look at Samantha's interrogation to verify the claims Yuri made.
That's the kind of person you seem to be, but it's really important for me to reiterate that. Again, we close the door for privacy, but you are free to leave, okay? Do you feel like, okay, comfortable around us? Hopefully, like I said, we're pretty professional, and we're the kind that take a little extra time to explain things to people, and it's important to us, but we want you to be comfortable too, okay? You understand that you are not under arrest, right? Freely. Okay. You can end this conversation whenever you want, but I think it's going well. I think it's important for us to get some of these details out, okay?
It's just been really hazy and foggy the last few days.
Yeah.
Medication's definitely messing me up.
Well, I need you to fight through some of that haziness, and I need you to come up with some details, okay? Because I know they're there. There's no way they can't be there. So it doesn't present itself well if your only explanation, let's say you were in front of a jury of people and they said, well, I blacked out. You know how many times they hear that? How many times people just say, oh, I blacked out, I don't remember anything. The reality is that they just don't want to be accountable for what they know or what they did. I don't think you did anything. I do think that you're holding back on the stuff that you probably are embarrassed or scared to share with us. But I'm telling you, as you keep holding back, it's just going to make the situation worse. You need to be forthright with us, and you got to be honest with us, okay? So with that being said, out of the stuff that we talked about, is there anything that you feel that you want to get off your chest?
Yuri and Samantha had been a couple for a long time, and they got married when Yuri got out after serving 6 years in prison in July 2020. Here, Samantha does mention being dizzy due to the impact of the medication, which aligns with Yuri's claims. However, her constrained body language and fragmented speech suggest that she is withholding details. This raises the suspicion that the medication narrative might be a scripted story, possibly part of a plan for one of them to escape culpability in the crime. This possibility seems even more significant when you notice Yuri repeatedly seeking permission to meet Samantha personally to apologize.
Now, so she drove you to this robbery. You remember this one? You had a shirt over your head, the Sitka gas station on Crawfordville Highway. Your gray shoes, your black pants. Do you remember this one? This was the first robbery that we know about.
Okay. Did she say I did all this?
Well, she said that was your outfit. That you don't recognize that?
No.
How about this one? This was at McKenzie's. It's like a little striped outfit. Same gun here, same gun here. You remember this one?
Nah.
You remember this one? Dark gray, blue, gray. And she said this was your outfit. This is like your favorite hoodie.
Well, I'm telling you, anytime she's with me, anytime, anything I do, she's intoxicated.
Okay.
Hey, let's
Let me
jump.
see something.
That's the back of your neck.
Okay.
That's not you? That's not you.
I don't know, I can't even see that, honestly. But all I'm just trying to tell you is...
Okay, let's cut this for a second, okay? There's one or two things, okay? She's in this right now because of you, okay?
I understand that.
She is in jail and in handcuffs in Missouri because of you.
I understand that, and I'm
Okay.
really sorry about
So
it.
here's the thing. So if you really care about her and you love her and you don't want her to be in that situation,
I don't.
Hold on, let me finish. Then the only way that you can do that is take responsibility for what you did. And if you want to, and if she didn't have anything to do with it, then you take responsibility for it and tell us exactly what happened.
on every single one of those, then that might help her out.
Okay. Well,
Okay. So here's where we want to go. Okay. I don't want to be lied to. We didn't just drive 1,000 miles from Tallahassee to sit in a room in a police department that's not ours to have somebody lie to us, and then we're going to turn around and drive 2 days back. Okay, so if you want to help her out, then you need to help us with 5 robberies that we had in Tallahassee, that we have all kinds of evidence, we know all kinds of information, but this is your chance.
What I'm trying to figure out is, y'all saying she's involved with this stuff, but I don't see none of that. Like, how y'all gonna prove my wife is involved in something like this?
There's home cameras, ring cameras, and what they call LPR, license plate readers, that puts her car and puts her there.
I understand, and I'm telling you, anytime she's with me doing anything, it's because I have a gun to her head and giving her pornography.
And I understand that.
So she's not even aware of what she has.
You're not even putting yourself, you're trying to say these aren't you. You're trying to say that's not you, and that's not your sweatshirt, that's not your pants, that's not your shoes. So you're sitting here lying to me about that being you at these stores because you robbed the Sitco.
I'm not lying to you.
You robbed the McKenzie. You came back and robbed the McKenzie again. You robbed the Shell Station on Northman Road, and you robbed the Sitco again. You robbed 2 stores twice. You remember any of that?
I'm just trying to figure out, like.
You remember the thing I was just explaining to you? Me and you go to the Circle K.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, why is my wife getting charged with any of that when she's not even fully present? Like, she's freaking up on drugs. I gave her. Once again, that's your fault. And I'm telling you that.
We get that, and that's not a defense for her. Okay? She drove you to those locations.
Intoxicated because I
It doesn't matter.
Made me do it.
It doesn't matter. It's not a defense in court. That's not a defense in court. She drove you to those locations. So, like I'm saying, the only way that you can possibly help her out with the state attorney once you guys get back to Tallahassee, to Leon County, is to be truthful, help us, admit, that you, whatever you did, if you did it, I don't want you to say I did something, you didn't do it, but that's the only thing that's going to help her out. You can sit there and admit to everything and help us and give us information, and you can sit there and we'll document it. Yeah, okay, he said that she had nothing to do with it. He held a gun to her head. He was feeding her drugs, whatever. We'll tell the state attorney's office that. But if you're going to sit here and waste our time and not, not help us out, then it'll just go to court, and you just have to deal with court, and she'll have to deal with court. So you're what? I call it two-stepping, dancing, trying to dance around the facts. What that tells me is you don't give a shit about anybody. Am I wrong? Except for Yuri?
When I'm
do you care about this woman? Do you know she's possibly pregnant with your baby?
I know that.
And you're going to sit here and I showed you a picture of that outfit, the first robbery, and you're like, it's your shirt. You know that's you. You know that's your shoes. Your shoe. We got your shoes.
Okay, I understand that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you're with me so far.
I'm with you.
So she pulled down on Munson Boulevard. You got out of that car and you walked up to that first store and you hit that guy with a pistol. Why did you hit the guy?
Why did you ask me this?
Why did you hit the guy with a pistol?
Okay, well, I'm trying to figure out if y'all saying that y'all know all this about me,
I want to know why Yuri did something. Why did you hit the man with a pistol?
You're saying I did something right there.
So why did you hit him with a pistol? Did he make you mad? Did he not move fast enough? Did he call you a name?
I'm trying to figure out why is you asking me all this, trying to find information if y'all think y'all already know everything.
I know enough to send you to prison on these robberies. I just want to know why. Why's a man going to get out of prison, marry a woman, and Like 3 days after they get married, start robbing stores. I'm nosy. I just want to know why.
In the interrogation room, confessions can be a game changer, powerful evidence that can shape an investigation. Interviews are key to getting info fast and avoiding false accusations, no matter what other evidence suggests. When faced with the solid proof backed by Samantha's admission, Yuri tries to downplay his role in the armed robberies, instead focusing on how he pushed his wife into being his partner in crime. The second detective suggests a practical idea. Yuri's confession could help Samantha prove her innocence in the court. But Yuri isn't quite on board yet, highlighting the ongoing struggle between protecting himself and the chance to prove his wife's innocence. This back and forth underscores the tricky balance between legal tactics, personal responsibility, and the quest for justice in the interrogation room.
Here's the thing. If you really cared about her,
I do care.
and here's the thing. You've been to prison, right? Right. Do you want her to go to prison?
No, that's what I'm telling you.
Listen to me. We've already addressed that.
Oh, no, I know.
Okay, she got charged. We know she was there.
Yeah, but she's in...
Listen to me. Do you want her...
She don't even know half of the time
where
she at in first place.
Do you want her to go to prison?
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying.
She got charged with 5 first-degree felonies for armed robbery with a firearm. 5. Okay? Do you want her to go to... Because right now, where we're going, the road that you keep going down right now with us and try not to give us information, whatever, she's going to prison. She's going to... If she's pregnant, she's going to have a child inside state prison.
Well, I know that.
So, we don't need to keep... So, you can either talk to us...
Okay, but if y'all know all this, why is you asking me?
Because we need it to come out of your mouth. If
Right,
you want to
so
help her.
Yeah, so you can help her.
And I'm telling you, anytime she's with me, she's...
It doesn't matter. You already told that.
I'm putting guns in her head and making her do things.
There's people on death row that tried to use that defense. It didn't work. Being high, being drunk is not a defense. You understand that?
Yeah.
That is not a legal defense. It has been thrown out time and time and time again. You cannot use that. Are you following me?
Yeah, I'm following you.
Okay?
So
she was there. She drove. You took her. You used her car to commit 5 first-degree felonies. By putting her there, she should have had the gun in her hand and pointed the gun at the clerk, and she's no less guilty than you are. But the problem is, you're sitting here dancing around, and what you think you're going to do is outsmart us, because you've been in prison long enough that you think you're smarter than the police. That's your problem. That's your problem. Yes, it is. I already talked to enough people. I know enough about you. You think you're smarter than everybody else.
What you're trying to do is...
You think you're smarter than everybody else, and you think you're going to get information from us in order to try to help yourself. Okay?
I don't care about
I
myself.
don't want her to suffer from your problems.
I understand.
You follow me?
Yes.
She should not be facing all these charges.
Okay.
But then you're sitting here trying to play games about, I don't recognize that outfit. I don't recognize that shirt.
Okay, well, let me ask you something. You know, I've been in prison 6 years, man. Last time I committed some robberies or crimes or whatever, y'all told me some shit. Hey, you just tell me you admit to this, I will help you. Y'all didn't do nothing for me.
But listen to me. There ain't nothing we can do to help Yuri.
Okay.
Yuri's killed a man. That doesn't have anything to do with our case. But that charge in of itself, you're never going to get out of prison. The only thing you can do right now in this room is help her. You follow me?
Okay, and I'm trying to help you.
No, you're not.
So, listen to me. This is how you help. Okay?
Okay, well, look, okay, listen. You say if I help, that's my wife, you feel me? And I'm telling you what it is. And if I admit to all this shit, how do I know she's not going to be charged with some shit that she has nothing to do with it? Now
Here's the thing.
Present.
This is how, okay, let's get past the whole...
How do I know that for sure?
Listen to me for a second, okay? This is how this works, okay? I don't know what you got arrested for. I know you got arrested for some burglaries.
Yeah.
That's breaking into people's houses and nobody's there.
Right.
First of all, wasn't my case. I didn't even read those cases. I know you spent time in prison. That's all I know about Yuri until all this other stuff, okay? So, the only way for you to help her, okay, because she's already talked to us.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, so
we're not going to tell you what she said.
Yeah, listen to me. This is how this works, and I'm not bullshit. Okay, we've both been doing this for a long time. Okay? So the only way to help her is for us to go through these robberies, and we show you some information, and if it's you, and you're truthful, 100% truthful, I get. If you say that you put a gun to her head, you made her think, okay, listen to me. If you're 100% truthful with us, and you take responsibility for your actions, not only for your actions, but for the actions that you placed her in that now has her sitting in jail.
Okay, so
hold on.
Cool. If I admit to all this and tell you the honest truth, God truth, will she be walking out of this fucking jail?
Not here. Okay?
She's got to go to Tallahassee.
She's got to go to Tallahassee.
And how long is this going to take?
We don't know.
I'm hoping next week. Okay? I mean, it took us 2 days to drive up here. That's 1,000 miles.
I understand.
That's 16 hours.
How long did it take y'all to drive up here? About the same amount?
Yeah.
So, here's the thing, and I'm not bullshitting you. We go through these cases,
Right.
okay? You don't beat around the bush. You don't sit there and lie to me about shit that we already know, okay? And you kind of answer some of the questions that we have, and we're curious of why this and why this, why were you doing this? Because we've got other evidence to charge you and go to court and everything else. But we want the whole picture. I don't like just having, half a pie.
Okay.
Okay? But if we get all that information, you take responsibility for your actions. As soon as we get back to Tallahassee and we talk to the state attorney's office who approved all this stuff, you're like, you know what? We went and talked to Yuri, and this is what he said. He 100% was truthful. He took responsibility. He hands down swears on a Bible, whatever religion you believe in. I don't care what it is, that she had nothing to do with it. I made her do it. Whatever you said, I put a gun to her head and I made her eat Klonopins every day.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. So, listen to me. So,
and there's evidence in the car with Klonopins.
We tell the state attorney's office that, and by you taking responsibility, that helps her out immensely. I'm not saying that she's going to sit in jail. I'm not saying that she's just going to get off scot-free. They might drop the charges. They might reduce it down to something, whatever. But that's for the state attorney to decide. Okay? They're not going to drive up here because that's not their job. That's our job. Okay? But I can't tell them all the information and tell them how cooperative you were and that you're taking responsibility so that you don't screw up somebody else's life. That way they can use that information, and maybe only Yuri gets charged with the robberies.
Which is kind of crazy for her to get charged.
It doesn't. Here's the thing. We've already been through that.
All right. Okay. I'm asking. Can I not even talk to my wife? Can I just apologize to my wife for making herself and for putting
listen, the only thing we can do. Here's the thing. This is not our jail. This is not our state. This is not our city. I can't let you talk to her. We're invited here. We're guests here. The only thing that, and I'll tell you right now, and I'll ask them, the only thing I can do is what you told me. I can walk into the room that she's sitting in and repeat exactly what you just said, that you were sorry, that you didn't mean to put her in this situation, and from the bottom of your heart, you love her, and that you are extremely regretful that you put her in this situation. I will do that. If we do this whole thing, we get done talking, I will walk in there and tell her that.
Can you tell her?
That's about as good as I can do.
Tell her that I'm sorry for feeding her drugs and putting guns to her head every time.
But I can't let you talk to her. They can't. I mean, the police here in this, they can't even do that. There's rules and regulation. You're both inmates. You're currently incarcerated with the jail here. You're a male. She's a female. I mean, there's all kinds of rules and regulations that we can't even violate in Tallahassee, because we can't do stuff like that. So we can't ask them to do that, and this is their home.
Because we can't risk you hurting her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yuri's prior experience with the justice system poses a challenge for the detective seeking his confession. Recognizing this, they opt to question Samantha first, gaining insights into Yuri's character and their relationship dynamics. The detectives strategically capitalize on the uncertainties within Samantha's statements, using them as leverage to play on Yuri's fears. Exploiting his remorse over involving Samantha in his criminal activities, the detectives propose a deal, If Yuri admits to his crimes and takes responsibility, they pledge assistance in clearing Samantha's name, along with extending an apology on his behalf. However, Yuri's repeated insistence for the detective to apologize to his wife for drugging her and putting a gun to her head raises concern. It doesn't sound like a standard apology, suggesting a potential subliminal message.
See, we know more than you think we know. This is your opportunity. What did you know he was going to go rob somebody?
I really didn't.
So what does he tell you to get you to take him to these places? Does he threaten you? What does he say?
They're gonna kill me and my son.
If you don't take him to go do these...
They're not gonna leave him. They're not gonna tell anybody.
So...
And it has, like, I was in a crazy-ass relationship for almost 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Where it was a lot of bad manipulation and abuse.
So you're vulnerable, and he knows that. And it's fucked up that he...
And that's why all this post-traumatic stress came back again. I had to go get re-diagnosed. Because I stopped all my medicine and all that because I was doing better in life.
So would he at least allow you to take your son home when you guys were going to go do a robbery? Well, that was, I guess there's something to be said about that. Did anybody get hurt in these robberies?
Not that I know of.
I
don't know, he didn't tell me anything.
But you knew you were going to go do a robbery with him.
He told me he was going to go make money.
But you assumed it was robbery. Because that's what he does, right? He robs people.
I don't know.
Because
he's had jobs.
Right,
That's how a lot of them are.
But when you say you're going to get money, you know he's going to go rob somebody.
He's going to work, like he had 2 jobs before he even did.
You didn't have to drop your son off to go pick up your check from somebody. Does that make sense? You knew you were going to go rob somebody. But you said he threatened you, right? How many times has he done that to you?
Every day.
Every day. So he's like constantly just robbing people.
Oh, that? No, I thought you meant threatening me.
Because Tallahassee's working on like 5 robberies where they've got, or at least the county out there is working on 5 robberies that they're sure that you guys did together in that car. Would you say there's more than that?
I don't even know.
You kind of have to know. You were driving.
I don't know, though.
Would you say...
It puts me in bad, like, state of mind where, I don't know, it's not even a blackout. It's weird, because I know what you already said about blackouts. I know that is hard to even believe that.
It is.
It just gets scary.
So...
He has, like, this weird, crazy hold over me.
How does he pick these people that he robs?
I don't know.
Have you known any of them?
No, not at all.
Is it, and I don't know the Tallahassee area, but are they always pretty close to like where you guys were staying?
I think one of them was.
Yeah. Which one was that one?
I don't know.
Let's start with that one. What city did that one happen?
Tallahassee.
Okay. Where did you take him?
I don't know. I don't even remember which one it was.
Okay, we got.
The thing is, there's so many stores in Tallahassee.
So we have to stop with the I don't know part. Okay, that's not going to get you anywhere. That doesn't help you anymore. Let's start with the one you were just going to tell me. Where did you drive him to?
A substantial portion of Samantha's statement aligns with Yuri's account, raising the question of whether the couple was attempting to outsmart the system. If Samantha did receive Klonopin as a drug, the effects she described match her claims. It's not uncommon for individuals to endure abusive relationships and to consider such dynamics as normal after years of living in dysfunctional and abusive households. Samantha's position remains ambiguous as she refrains from explicitly implicating Yuri in the robberies, focusing instead on the abuse she endured. However, later in her interrogation, she does confirm the images shown to her, linking Yuri to the CCTV footage that was acquired from the different convenience stores that were robbed.
But like I said, we can relay it.
Oh, I'll tell her 100%.
But the thing is, like you were saying, Yuri's got to take responsibility for what he did. He's got to, like I said, I want to know why you did things. I know you did it. I just don't want to know why. I mean, was it because you were doing this drug or that drug, you needed money for it? Why did you take this? Why did you hit this person? Why did you go to this store? Why was there 10 days between these robberies? you know, those are questions I want to know. Because it wasn't like you hit a store and you randomly came back. It was like almost a pattern. And as a cop, we're automatically, you know, interested in why. And the only person that can answer this pattern stuff of, you know, why the times that you hit one store, you may not even realize you hit one store at 9:50 or 8:56. You hit it again at 8:57. Did you know that? Did you know you robbed it at the same time? Were you even aware of the times that you said that? That's the stuff that's got me nosy. And the first one you hit at 9 o'clock. And then the next two stores were like 1 minute off. But then, you know, it was like a 10-day, a 13-day break, then 10-10. It's just weird how this pattern went. Are you going to help us put those pieces together? Or is that a no?
I'm just trying to figure out, man. Like, I'm so confused, bro. Like, I'm like super.
So you're trying to say you hadn't done any of this?
Yuri's actions raised questions as he inexplicably targeted the same two stores twice, with one being in close proximity to Samantha's father's residence. The detectives are utterly confused by this unusual pattern. They question Yuri about his motives, but he remains steadfast in refusing to provide a clear explanation. These robberies involved weapons, and the puzzling aspect is why an individual would choose to target places in their own neighborhood, especially when under probation. Yuri's body language, marked by restless movements and the repetitive phrase, "I just want to figure out," suggests a persistent attempt to evade direct confrontation. Ironically, this unintentionally makes it increasingly apparent to the detective that Yuri is withholding significant information.
I'm just trying to figure out why, and like.
You see this little thing right here? It's called a hand. There's something here called skin. There's skin that goes all the way up your arm and covers your whole body. Your skin's flaking off the whole time. We have a process, basically it's a special vacuum. And what do you think the skin contains? What is this stuff that falls off you everywhere you walk?
DNA.
Yeah. What do you think's in this? Our DNA is right now in this room right now. You can't get rid of it. You can pour bleach all over this, but you can't get rid of all of it because it's stuck on the walls.
Right.
It's everywhere. So I will tell you that. We got DNA on you. So you can sit here and kind of try to, I guess, I don't know, maybe in your head you're trying to convince yourself that you're convincing us that you didn't rob these stores. But your DNA bit, and here's what, let me explain to you how lawyers look at this. Okay, he's saying he did all this. He held a gun to her head, and he made her do these robberies.
I ain't made her do nothing.
You made her go, is what you were just saying. You just said you doped, put a gun to her head, and made her.
I'm saying anytime I'm with her doing any crazy things, it's literally I'm drugging her, putting drugs in her system.
So you're trying to say you didn't do these robberies.
I'm just trying to figure out, man. I'm going to tell you, I wanted to tell you everything, but I'm just like, I'm so freaking confused. I feel like I just going to use this information against me, bro. And still my wife, basically, because she has nothing to do with any of this.
No attorney is going to believe what you're saying if you don't sit here and take responsibility first for what you did. How can I say that I made this man go with me and rob a store, and then I sit here and you're the cop, and I sit here and I want to admit that I robbed the store? You see what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? I put a gun to his head, I dope him up, I make him drive me to the store, but then I get caught, he gets caught, and then I try to tell you that I put a gun to his head and I doped him up to rob that store, but then I sit there and I won't say I robbed the store. That's what you're doing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
No,
does that make any sense? I mean, it's just confusing the hell out of me trying to say it to you to explain what you're doing.
I've already said it to you, and I mean, I can't make it any clearer. We can sit here and keep going around, or you can just say whatever, and we'll walk out and we'll go do what else we got to do, and we'll drive back to Tallahassee.
Because basically, I'm gonna have to tell the attorneys that basically you're lying to us. And what little bit you're giving us is you think it may help your wife.
And all the information we have, which we're going to use all the same information on her, then she's just going to have to go through the same court process.
And you realize she's looking at life in prison, right?
Right. Yeah, you're right. All right. Well, all those robberies I committed. You know what I mean?
So what I need you to do, if that's the truth, what do you have on your head? Is that a shirt or is that a sweatshirt? It's like bluish green.
All right, let me read this.
Now, you can't read it. You can look at the picture. You see this outfit?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out why is you hiding all this if you...
I'm not going to sit here and let you read everything. Okay? You don't have a right to do that. This is you. This is your shirt. Where's this shirt at?
No.
You don't know? Did you only wear it the one time? Or did you wear it to multiple robberies?
Why do you go like this? Why can't I just fucking talk to you and tell you shit?
I'm not going to let you read the paper.
So, the first robbery, okay?
That's the first.
Was at a Citgo station, less than a mile down the road from where her dad lives on Orchard. You know where
y'all grew up around.
You know where Orchard is? You know where her dad lives? Yeah. But at least answer that question. Do you know where her dad lives on Orchard Drive?
Yeah.
Okay. That first gas station that you robbed is literally like right down the street from her dad's house. Okay? It's right on the corner of Crawfordville Road and Munson Highway. Or Munson Boulevard. Okay? I get it. We take her out of this. We know that she drove you there. Let's get past that. Okay? Listen to me.
She didn't even have ideas. She didn't even know none of this shit.
Okay, and that's fine. That's fine. But I can't believe that statement unless you give me honest statements about everything else. You can sit here and tell me till you're blue in the face she had nothing to do with it. She had nothing to do with it. She had nothing to do with it. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was her idea. Maybe you guys needed money. She wanted to try to find you guys a house, and you guys needed money so you could stop living in a motel and get money to go get a place to rent.
Maybe she's pregnant and she needed money for an abortion.
I get it. She's got a 3-year-old son that has developmental issues, and that's very expensive to get the help you need for that.
Hmm.
So, if you're not going to sit here and be honest with me, I can't say that I believe you 100% that she had nothing to do with it. So the only way I can start to believe you is that if you start telling me information that I already know and that Investigator Pinkard knows, and that you take responsibility for all the stuff that we already know, and then you answer some questions on why. Why did you do this?
What's the difference between me admitting or not admitting this, or when I have the lawyer and still will talk to him about all this? And, like, you know, I can tell him same shit that I tell y'all. Do you understand?
And you can't.
That's
your right.
That's the piece of paper we read to you.
And if that's what you choose, hey, we'll get up and walk out. Okay? And if you want to do that, like I said, that you just sign that piece of paper, you want to talk to the attorney, all you got to do is say that word. Okay? However, like I said, you're trying to help her out because you say you care for her. Okay? So that can either help her out next week, in the next 2 weeks, or we can just draw this out and it can go on for months and she can be transported down to Leon County Jail and have 5 felonies on her sitting in jail and not be able to bond out. And she'll sit in Leon County Jail until 6 months, 7 months, 9 months, a year. If she can't bond out, she's going to sit in jail till court.
In the course of the interrogation, the first detective employs a fascinating strategy by incorporating dynamic body movements. During direct confrontations, he noticeably closes the physical distance with Yuri, employs expressive hand gestures, and strategically utilizes physical evidence to emphasize points. An interesting moment is when Yuri brings up the topic of a lawyer and the detective promptly begins unfolding bags and papers, indicating that Yuri has already signed for cooperation. This subtle yet effective tactic plays on the psychological vulnerability of the suspect, particularly considering Yuri is handcuffed, subtly asserting dominance in the interaction. This is a very subtle tactic, but quite appropriately used here.
And hey,
You wanna know what that really-
do whatever you do in court.
Yuri, what that almost sounds like to me is we got 5 robberies, the sheriff's office has a murder. It almost sounds to me that there's a whole bunch of crap we don't know about that you made her do, allegedly, that you made her do. And you're sitting here going, well, if I did it, if I forced her to do it. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like, is there a bunch of stuff that we don't know that you've done? I mean, have you done something besides these 5 robberies? And, you know, the thing that I think the sheriff's office already talked to you about.
Yeah, I told the sheriff department that I want to speak to my attorney.
Okay. That's the reason we're not
But
going to
that
talk
ain't had
about it.
nothing to do with my wife, though. They didn't even mention my wife because they know better.
But see, what I'm wondering now, is there drug dealers that's been robbed that we don't know about because they don't report it?
I'm saying, why would I tell you that?
I'm just saying, that's what I'm wondering. That's what the game you're playing right now is making it look like you've done a whole lot more stuff than what we know about now.
It doesn't even matter if I did 100 more stuff. One of crimes gonna give you a life sentence anyway. So
We're not worried about. We already said we're not worried about Yuri. We're trying to help Samantha. You see what I'm saying? Yuri,
You dug a deep hole. Deep,
I mean, look.
deep hole.
You've already gone. You got 3 or 4 strikes against you. Well, you've gone to prison before, and then all this, right? I mean, you've gone to prison. You got right out of prison, started doing more serious stuff than you did before you went to prison. You see, and in doing that, you violated your probation. So you've gone to show that the state can't trust you to be out in public. They can't even put you on probation or parole because you take a step up. You were going into houses and stealing stuff. Now you're going into stores with guns. You see what I'm saying?
And now you're dragging somebody else into it.
We're not here to help you. We're trying to help Samantha. But you don't get that. See what I'm saying? I can't help you. I can't sit here. I cannot sit here and look you in the face because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and say I can get Yuri out of going to prison. That's a possibility. You feel me?
yeah, I feel you.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not, even if it hurts my case, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. You know, I can say, legally I can sit here, oh man, Yuri, you talk to me, you tell me everything. We can get you back on probation. That ain't happening.
I already know that.
You understand?
I already know I'm going to probably get a death penalty. I mean, I don't give a f***, but either way, you know what I mean?
But here's the thing. The only person that you can help out and that we can try to help out
is your baby and your baby's mama.
is Samantha sitting over there crying, talking to us. Because she can't fathom or understand why she's in the situation that she's in right now. She's been arrested for petty theft and, like, leaving the scene of an accident. Like, that's juvenile stuff, that's whatever. I mean, you know, so for her to now be charged with first-degree felonies that have sentences of life in prison, and she's 30 years old, her whole world right now is freaking upside down. She doesn't know what to think. You know, I mean, we were talking to her, she's crying. She almost wanted to throw up. I'd probably want to do the same thing. Like, it's different. If I made the decision to do something, that's me controlling me.
You've been to prison before.
Okay.
You know what you're facing. She doesn't.
You know, I went and did this, and I dragged somebody else along who probably never once in their life would go into a convenience store and rob somebody or be a part of that. I guarantee if you would have told her beforehand, hey, babe, we're going to go rob this convenience store, she'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you? And she'd probably, you'd get into a fight or she'd storm off or whatever. There ain't no way. From just from talking to her, the time that we talked to her today, there's no way that but I can't keep repeating the same thing. I mean, we're not just going to sit here all night. Yes, we can't help you. But if you want to help her.
That's me right there.
When you saying with the blue shirt on
That
the
blue shirt on the head, that's me. With a striped shirt, that's me too right there.
head. Okay.
So let me ask this, and it doesn't really matter, but
And look,
why did the guy get hit in the head? Why? I mean, did he?
Okay, no, all I'm trying to say is, man, yeah, that's all that's me. I ain't gonna deny none of that shit, alright? All I'm trying to say is, you guys got an innocent woman locked up for charge, the same thing I'm charged with. Where she's not even aware of shit.
Did you drag her into it?
I dragged her into, like, putting a gun to her head and drugging her, and that's fucked up on my part, and I feel real fucking
I will 100%.
The first detective highlights the futility of Yuri's attempts to manipulate the situation, emphasizing that given the multitude of charges against him, proving his innocence is nearly impossible. However, he offers a glimmer of hope by suggesting that Samantha's name can still be cleared. With persistent pressure in the interrogation, Yuri's defense eventually crumbles. He admits his involvement and acknowledges his presence in the incriminating charges. In a pivotal moment, Yuri concedes, proposing a trade, his confession in exchange for his wife's freedom. The detective unequivocally communicates that there is no plausible way to mitigate his charges, prompting Yuri to abandon any notion of deceit or manipulation.
I feel real fucking
I will 100% agree with you.
I feel real
and I really hope you do. I really do.
And I really want to apologize and from the bottom of my heart and tell her how much I'm sorry.
And I will tell her.
She didn't even know none of this.
And I will tell. But here's the thing. So, but for me to help believe everything, so like I said, we have a few questions. So, and maybe you don't know why. Like, why'd you? I mean, because that was the first robbery. Okay. The 4 other robberies, you never hit anybody. Like, why? I mean, I don't know, because they were females and he was a male, or did he look like he was going to grab a phone?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, why did he?
Because he wouldn't cooperate.
So, because he wouldn't get the money fast enough, or okay.
Yeah,
so
he didn't want to do nothing.
Okay, so you hit the first guy. So, why? Like I said, there's like 10, 13 days between each one of these robberies. You know, was the money going for drugs? Was it going for a place to stay?
It's going for drugs, to get more drugs.
To get more, okay. What was your drug of choice?
I was doing Klonopins.
So
I was doing downers and benzos.
Okay. So you were using that money. So you're using the money from the robberies
to support my habit
your drug
and feeding drugs, you know.
Okay.
So you had enough money to do maybe 10, 13 days, and then when you ran out of money, you did the next robbery?
Pretty much.
So, but why the same store? Like, so you hit the Citgo station down the road, okay, then that's a reason. That's why, I mean, so you hit the same one twice, less than a mile down the road from our dad's house. It's just, that usually doesn't happen.
Right around the corner.
Somebody goes and robs a store, they rob the store, and then they go rob a store in another city. Like, they don't come back 2 weeks later and be like, you know what, I'm going to hit that same store again. But I get it.
I guess it's a lack of fear. You know, that's always been my biggest fault. Just not really
afraid.
I'm afraid
so,
shit.
You hit do you think of it as the Marathon or the McKenzie, the one that's on the Parkway? What do you call it?
Out by Walmart.
It's right next to the Regions Bank.
I thought that was a Marathon.
Yeah, it's a Marathon. It's got a sign outside, but it's a Marathon gas station, but the name of it is McKenzie Mart. Okay. Did you hit it twice because it was easy and you got a lot of money, or it was just because it was easy?
It was easy.
Okay. Do you remember how much money you got the first time?
No. I was fucked up.
Do you remember which one was your biggest score?
No, I don't even
remember.
That.
Do you even know how much money you got from these?
I don't even count.
You don't even count it? Okay.
And like I said, all the time I'm fucked up anyways. I'm just doing shit.
Now, that pistol that you had in the robberies, where did you get it from?
I didn't have that pistol.
What kind of pistol was it?
It was a 22.
So it was a 22? Okay, because I didn't think it was a 22.
Yeah, I had that before I even went to prison.
Where was it stored at?
It was buried.
Wow, okay.
Where?
It was buried in the woods, somewhere in Crawfordville.
Somewhere in Crawfordville?
So you knew?
Yeah, I know. I did have that gun.
Was it 22? Was it a semi-auto or a revolver?
A revolver.
Okay.
That's stuff we need to come out your
so see, now the conversation that we're having right now, I know you're being 100% honest with me because you want to help her out. because you're answering questions that I already know the answers to, but I want to see if you're going to lie.
No, we didn't know you had the gun buried. We just didn't know where it came
Which
from.
is, I find that interesting that, you know, you spent 6 years in prison, that you had the forethought or the idea to bury a gun before you went to prison.
Once you put it in to bury it so it wouldn't, because most time if a gun's buried for like 6 years, it won't fire. It won't work.
I ain't had nothing wrong with it. It was in
Is it wrapped in plastic or something? Like a garbage bag?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. How in the world do you remember the exact, or do you have to dig a couple spots?
I had to dig a couple spots.
Was it at somebody's house or?
Nah,
and I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, no, it was just somewhere I buried it. You know what I mean? Somewhere in the woods.
You had like a marker or something you go to, and kind of like a treasure map. A pirate, you step on 10 steps and.
Yeah. Did you use that same revolver, 22 revolver, on all 5 of the robberies?
Yeah.
Okay. Why, you know, some people, you know, a lot of robbers, they pull right up, you know, they go into the store, rob it, they go jump in the car, and off they go. You're different. You know, did you just drive by the store and go, man, I'm going to hit that store? Or did you know that, like, hey, if we pull down this street down here, like it's dark, nobody's going to see us, I'll walk into the store.
There's no cameras.
There's no cameras, so when I walk, then nobody's going to know, and then we drive off and nobody knows anything.
I mean, I just didn't care. I was so intoxicated that I just didn't really care if I was alive or dead. I was just really just.
So you didn't plan them out.
I didn't plan.
Do you remember this? Do you remember robbing the store on the Shell store on Northern Road?
Like by the old Tallahassee Mall.
Yeah.
Because that's the only store that you didn't rob twice.
Yeah, I remember all that.
Where did you have her park at? Like,
I mean, she wasn't even there that night.
So she wasn't at the show.
What I'm saying is, and y'all can take this to the grave. Like, I already told you this much, so there's no reason for me to even lie to you.
I appreciate you telling me that.
Honestly speaking, I'm so f***ed up on drugs. Like, I know this is not gonna help my case or nothing.
Okay.
Like, a lot of I just know I robbed him because you showed me pictures. But half of that shit I don't even remember. Like, it could be 10 people in the car, and I wouldn't even tell you if there was 10 people. I wouldn't remember. I just know you showed me pictures. I know all the clothes. That's me.
Okay, so
So
right, cool.
A lot of that stuff, she might not even been there.
So you robbed 5 convenience stores.
So I robbed 5 convenience stores.
Okay,
I robbed
how many of those convenience stores? Because this might help her.
Did you make her drive to?
How many of those 5 did you make her drive to? And maybe she didn't know what you guys were going to do or whatever, but how many of those 5 did you make her drive to?
Did you force her or trick her to drive?
Honestly speaking, man, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know, honestly. I'm not even lying to you. Like, for all I know is, I know I went in there and did that. Okay. And what freaks me out is, by me not even knowing this, if she was even in the car half of the times, what freaks me out is she's in custody for something I did.
Yeah, I mean,
for something that she didn't even know. Like, literally, I'm a drug addict. Okay, me being a drug addict, being selfish, turning her into one, making her take these drugs just because.
The motive behind the robberies is finally revealed. Often, substance abuse can drive people to do things they wouldn't consider when sober. Many of Yuri's actions, like the abuse towards his wife and the seemingly senseless pattern of the robberies, now fall into place. As Yuri begins sharing more details that align with the evidence the detective already has, they commend him for his honesty. They assure Yuri that they will assist Samantha in proving her innocence in court. Now that Yuri has confessed, his body language has noticeably shifted, appearing calmer than before.
I just wish I could take it back.
We probably got a couple more questions.
All right.
Okay, so in reference to some of the robberies, you tried to go in the safes. Like, were you hoping they were unlocked, or?
Yeah.
Because the last one you actually punched in.
You were trying to, like, punch in buttons and try to,
like a dumbass.
And you stole, what else did you, the last one, you got cash, but you stole some other stuff. What did you steal?
I don't even fucking remember.
You don't remember?
I don't even remember, honestly.
What? You took a bunch of cigarettes.
I took cigarettes.
Did you smoke?
You took cartons.
Like, you took,
almost $600 worth of cigarettes.
$600 worth? I don't even remember that. Yeah, I know I had a lot of cigarettes though. Like I know I was smoking a lot.
That's what. So, and that's. I mean, so that's what I say. Do you
We
smoke?
were wondering if you sold
Yeah,
them.
Yeah, I mean, cigarettes. I mean, hell, when they were telling me, they're like, yeah, cigarettes are $8 a pack. I was like, jeez.
It was
Oh,
like,
no.
what, $80 or something?
I mean, $80. Yeah, for $80 for a carton of cigarettes.
No, I was smoking. I smoked cigarettes.
You did. I thought maybe maybe you weren't a smoker and you were going to sell them and make some money.
Some people, they'll break the pack of them, they'll sell them $1 a cigarette. Well, a carton of cigarettes will make you a couple $1,000.
No, I wasn't doing like that. I was just smoking.
Okay, it was just kind of odd. I mean, you went from
Just doing money.
You went from like, hey, I need the money, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna steal some cigarettes, and like it wasn't just like, hey, I'm gonna take 2 packs. So like, you took like packs upon packs upon packs upon cigarettes, and then cards. Just like that's kind of it's just
because you had the forethought. You got a bag from under the counter, and you put all these cartons in it, and you walked out with the bag like you were shopping. So you don't remember any of that?
I don't even remember that. Honestly,
you just woke up and there was a bunch of cigarettes.
pretty much.
So you've probably been smoking those cigarettes for the past.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you smoke that many, if all those cigarettes are gone, and you smoked that many cigarettes since 2 weeks ago, that's a lot of damn
I
cigarettes.
smoked a lot of cigarettes.
Holy cow, dude.
When did you start smoking? Because everybody said you don't smoke. Did you start smoking in prison? No,
Nah, I smoked before prison.
you did?
Okay. What about Samantha? Did she smoke that often, or just recently?
Or did you start her smoking?
She vapes.
Vapes.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just from what we've been talking about, is my wife good, man? Like, is she gonna be straight?
There's no way to tell that right now. The only thing we can do is take what you're telling us back to Tallahassee and tell the prosecutors.
Alright.
Okay, then what they're going to do at that point is they're going to look at everything. They'll look at all the evidence we've brought them, and if everything you've told, which so far everything's lining up, as far as the guy wouldn't, because the guy even said that you said something he didn't think you, or he couldn't understand. I can't remember. Either he didn't hear you, or he was freaking out and he didn't move fast enough, and that's when you hit him. And that's basically what you just told me.
Yeah, I guess I did.
So, and with the other ones, we knew you parked away and you walked up, and you said you knew better than doing it. So you're confirming what we already knew.
Yeah.
So now we can go back and say, yeah, he confirmed he did these, and he's confirming that he doped his wife up and threatened her. Now, did you ever threaten to harm anybody else besides her? You ever threaten her was it 3-year-old? Or you remember?
I mean, I might have. I don't really remember.
You ever threaten her family? Or would you,
I
in that
probably would have.
that state of mind, you would threaten her, that
Yeah.
you would harm her family?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can take that back to them, and they have to come, because you know how the system works. The prosecutor makes the final decision because they're the lawyers,
Right.
and it actually, to be honest with you, it actually looks pretty decent for her. She's got a much better chance. You have none.
Yeah.
During these robberies, Yuri was not close to his normal self due to heavy substance abuse. His confession introduces an unexpected discovery to the interrogation. It might sound strange to think of someone influenced by substances robbing a store and also taking $600 worth of cigarettes and then completely forgetting about it. However, this situation paints a bleak picture of Yuri's life. Despite appearing well-mannered and intelligent throughout the interrogation, he could have pursued a very different path. Unfortunately, Yuri became addicted to substances during his 6 years in prison, experimenting with various drugs available. Consequently, leading a sober life after serving time became an unattainable option, leading him to resort to robberies for quick money. After carrying out multiple armed robberies without getting caught, he became fearless, and that's when he carried out the home invasion that led to the death of a bright 25-year-old Parth Patel. Yuri Harris, who faced charges for invading the Oxbow Circle home of an Indian family and fatally shooting a family member resisting him, entered a no-contest plea to murder and other charges on September 21, 2021. According to court records, Yuri has been sentenced to life in prison for the shooting and killing of 25-year-old Parth Patel last year on the same day. As part of the plea agreement, state prosecutors opted to remove the death penalty as a potential punishment. During the trial, presided over by Leon Circuit Judge Frank Allman, Yuri was adjudicated guilty on charges of first-degree murder and armed burglary with assault or battery. Notably, his life sentence will be served concurrently, with charges related to armed robberies committed at various Tallahassee gas stations. As we conclude this intense journey through Yuri Harris's interrogation, it's a stark reminder of the ripple effects that senseless decisions can have on families, exemplified by the tragic case of Parth Patel. Yuri's spiral into crime, fueled by substance abuse cultivated during his prison years, serves as a cautionary tale. The walls of incarceration meant for rehabilitation often become breeding grounds for further addiction. The effort of the detective in unraveling Yuri's psyche deserves appreciation. This interrogation sheds light not only on the crimes committed, but also on the complex interplay of personal struggles, addiction, and the far-reaching consequences of one's choices. As we reflect on this narrative, it underscores the importance of understanding and addressing the deeper layers that contribute to the paths individuals take, ultimately shaping the course of their lives and the lives of those around them. Tell us how you felt about this case and suggest cases you would like us to cover in the comments section below.